So the terrestrial biomes of the entire world can be divided into 14 parts. There are 14 terrestrial biomes. 7 of them consist and talks about forest. So you can see the tropical and subtropical moist broadleaf forest. So these are usually the rainforest, which you usually found with respect to larger trees and larger leaves. That's why broadleaf forest. So you can find the location that I have mentioned in the maps. So you can clearly see tropical, subtropical, dry broadleaf forest, which are usually dry deciduous forest, will be called as, right? And then there is coniferous forest, which is usually found around the submontanal region. Then there is broadleaf mixed forest, right, below the foothills. And then there is coniferous forest, usually above. And there are boreal forest, which are usually found in the temperate regions. These are temperate forest with few leaves. And there is Mediterranean forest or scrublands or also woodlands. Okay, so these are the locations which you can find. So keep these locations in mind, because few questions come around us to understand which region has which kind of biome. Moving forward, apart from forest, the other terrestrial biomes include savannas and grasslands, which are present with respect to arid waterlands. Then there is grassland and sublands, which are temperate. So these are tropical shrublands or grasslands, and then there are temperate grasslands. There is flooded grasslands and savannas that is usually not filled with organisms, but whenever there is flood or when the river flows down, they become the source of richness. So few examples are Tanzania's and Kenya's wetlands. Then there is mountain grassland and shrublands. Mountain grassland and shrublands are usually the grasslands which are arid, has low amount of grasslands, but is usually concerned with the colder regions or usually drier regions, and which are present in a higher scale. So that's why mountain grasslands. And there is tundra. Tundra is basically the Arctic region, and the grasslands that are, or the lands which are associated with the Arctic region. Then there is desert and xeric shrublands, usually which has lowest amount of water rainfall that it can consist. And then there are mangroves, which are usually associated with the coastal regions. So all of these biomes have been indicated with respect to their land and positions. So you need to understand and you need to identify which place and where they are located. You need to remember that just a location, just the area and the continental region, so that this gives an idea that where they are located and which conditions decide where to be. Okay, so you can see that mountain grasslands are associated with the Himalayan region because they're higher. Okay, then there is Atacama regions and so on. Apart from that, when we come to aquatic biomes, there is freshwater biomes as well as marine biomes. So aquatic biomes, the freshwater biomes consist of large lakes, river deltas, okay, temperate upland rivers. Okay, then there is mountain freshwaters, usually the freshwaters which are present around the mountain. And there are temperate coastal rivers, temperate floodplains and wetlands. Assam Brahmaputra floodplains is one of the example. There are polar freshwaters, tropical and subtropical coastal rivers. Then there are tropical and subtropical floodplains. There are temperate floodplains, there are tropical floodplains. Then there are upland rivers. In India, for example, let's say we can talk about Himachal regions where the upland rivers are coming from. And xeric freshwater or endoeric basins, which are usually found in case of arid regions. You just find some water bodies, also sometimes mentioned as oasis, right? And then there is oceanic islands. So these are freshwater bodies which are present in the islands. Okay. Then comes to marine biomes. Now these all biomes are named and associated with WWF. So they have been used by different bodies and conservation systems to identify specific biogeographical biomes or realms. Then there are polar regions. So in marine systems, there are polar, temperate shelves and seas, temperate upwelling, and tropical coral regions. So polar regions, as we know, are associated with the poles. Then there is temperate shelves and seas. Now, so usually they go up to the maximum depth of 150 meters. They are usually associated with the continental shelves. So they have multiple variation in seasonal systems as well as freshwater influxes, coastal streams, tidal action. So there are a lot of varieties. There are a lot of habitats there because the variations result in habitat differentiation. And then there are tropical and temperate upwelling regions. Now upwelling regions usually talk about those regions where the nutrient come from below. Okay, so they rise up and there is exchange of nutrient that happens. So temperate upwelling regions are the continental margins which are characterized by consistent welling up of nutrient rich from bottom waters to the surface. So they're usually found in the northern coast of America, Californian current systems, and southwest coast of Africa. Okay, so these are the few regions that where you can find temperate upwelling. Now, tropical upwellings are usually characterized by high productivity, resulting in upwelling nutrient-rich water from bottom. So these are associated with tropical regions. Then there are tropical coral. Coral reefs are one of the most fragile and diverse habitat in the entire marine system. So they are considered as marine rainforests. And the largest barrier reef is found in Australia, Great Barrier Reef. And there are also associated barrier reefs, which forms the basis of marine structures and marine organisms. So these are marine biomes. Then apart from that, natural biomes, there are also a few anthropogenic biomes. Anthropogenic biomes have been recently coined and are associated with human interacted lands. So anthropogenic biome provides an alternative view of terrestrial biosphere which are related to humans and sustained by human direct interactions. So they are the result of settlements, urbanization, and different use of land. So there might be dense settlements, croplands, agricultural lands. Then there are rangelands. Rangelands are usually open lands which are used for multiple purposes, which are not used for agricultural purposes. Then there are forestal lands, artificially forested lands, and then there are indoor anthropogenic biomes or microbiomes. So this is the entire idea of biogeography of the entire world.